Today we're going to make a dessert, and I'm going to talk a little bit about our food. I want to introduce first of all Matt Tinder, who is our pastry chef, and is going to be helping me and then talking a little bit too. First I'm going to talk about kind of generally a restaurant while we're getting things set up. So we're in San Francisco, California, and we opened about 6 years ago. And when we opened, and people said, what kind of food is it? And I said, California, and they kind of laughed at me, because it didn't seem a whole lot like what everyone else was calling California food. It was this idea that we were only going to use ingredients from our area, but we were going to make haute cuisine, alta cucina. And those two things in our area never went together. So now, 6 years later, it's kind of, I guess, a little bit more accepted. But that's a good thing and a bad thing. I think one of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about, because I've been hearing so much about this idea of local, and so for us, it's very, very important, but not for I guess maybe a little bit for a moral reason, but especially because our only goal when we cook is we want to make food that's delicious, and we want to make food that means something to people. So they're coming into our restaurant not because they're hungry. I mean, I hope they're hungry. But if that's all we do is make them not hungry, then we haven't really done our job. So we want a sense of discovery. We want them to find things that are familiar. We want them to have maybe a memory that's going to last their life. And in order to have that, in order to have food that's full of emotion, for me, the way that I found it is by connecting to what we have in our area, because first of all, we can control the quality. Everyone that we buy from, I've known for 10, 15 years, and we get exactly what we want. And then for the other reason is we use a lot of wild plants. California is an amazing place, very, very diverse. And so the flavors that we use can't be replicated. And they're very specific, and basically our food is built around these ingredients. So I put a picture here, and this particular area, obviously it's the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a park, and in this park we have eucalyptus trees. But these eucalyptus trees were planted over 100 years ago, but they're not native. So now people are saying we should cut them down because they're not native. But I think that's stupid, because now they're here, and now they're native, and they're very tall and beautiful. And that's how I feel a little bit about the idea about local food. I'm from the other side of the country, and I moved there 20 years ago. I feel like I'm native, but maybe not. So, and thinking about kind of local ingredients for us is very global. We have people, it's a port town. We have people who move to our area from all over the world. So you'll see in the dishes, there's a lot of influence of everywhere. Spain, Italy, Japan, China. People come, they bring their plants, they bring their traditions. So we try and learn as much as we can and do things that make sense and do things that connect to kind of the feeling of our area. So, for example, coffee. We don't grow any coffee, but this coffee is roasted in our area. And what we do is we take carrots. This came out of a cooking session I had with another chef as a friend, and we roasted carrots in the coffee beans. So by the end, the flavor goes all the way through. And you can't tell what's carrot and what's coffee. It's pretty interesting. Creme fraiche, you see the strands of creme fraiche. You only get that when it's cultured very slowly, and it's made by a friend, same person we've been dealing with for 12 years. Oats, toasted with honey and chicory, a little sea salt and cilantro, and olive oil. So basically, we serve it as instead of a cheese course. Kind of sweet, kind of savory. So a lot of the dishes, the way we cook, only have a couple ingredients. So when I was thinking about what I was going to say about the food, one of the things, and these are all dishes from this year, I guess one of the things that I was noticing is that more and more we rely on really specific ingredients, really specific technique to get a distillation, a concentration of flavor that looks very simple, and so it's easy to eat. You know, I was thinking about the customers, so when you come in and sit down, it looks maybe not familiar, but at the same time not maybe wildly different. It looks like food, but then we have to work very hard to get the taste so that it's like explosive, so that it's something that jumps. We use a lot of acidity. So this dish, for example, is we're right on the coastline. And so I've lived there for a long time, and walking on the coast, there's like a feeling that's very special. And so this is kind of about that feeling, and it's bull kelp, which is konbu, a fresh seaweed. The black strands are clam. It's cooked shallot and garlic and white wine, so very traditional. And then also a little bit of squid ink. We set it into a gel and cut it, so it kind of mimics a little bit the seaweed. Wild fennel and Meyer lemon. Meyer lemon is a lemon that's special to California, and it's kind of like, it's a winter dish, and it's kind of like when it's raining all the time. It's like sunshine in winter. It's very bright. And then there's a vinaigrette that dresses everything. That's also very bright. Okay, so this dish is kind of a joke. It's the first thing that we serve. It's a little snack. They're brown rice crackers. And the one that looks like a leaf on top is just plain, and the one underneath that's speckled has a little dried seaweed and burnt onion. So we serve it with sprouts and avocado. So brown rice, sprouts, and avocado, it's kind of a joke about hippie food. It actually tastes very good. So this is a dish we did last late spring, and it's morels. It had just started, and we get really amazing morels from places where there have been fires, and they had just started coming in, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I was at a farmer's market, and there were potatoes, which is kind of natural, and then next to the potatoes, the first one is tiny, just dug out of the ground, was popcorn, because the same farm also grows popcorn. I'd never cooked with popcorn before. I had no idea what I would do with it. And so it was kind of interesting to discover something for, in a way, the first time. But it's, as an ingredient, for an American, it's a very powerful ingredient, because everyone that's ever gone to the movies has a memory of popcorn. So we made a sauce and a very simple dish out of the popcorn, and basil sprouts, so there was a very nice, clean, bright dish. But